I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing that's under 100. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing that's under 100. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing that's under 100.
You know what it is. You are MPE with Dave and Jay, where we build while we build. I'm Jay.
What up? What up? I'm Dave.
You know that's Dapper Dave right there, looking cool and fresh.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. So we got
on the apparel here, you know.
Yeah, the flies.
We got sweatshirts.
Got the sweatshirts, got the t-shirts coming. What?
You know what I mean?
Hey, we are feeling great today. Hoping y'all feeling great too. We got a challenge for you today, don't we, Dave?
Yeah, man.
So we want to pose a challenge to y'all this week. Do things a little differently. We want 100 reps, right? We want to focus on pull-ups, push-ups, and leg lifts, all right? Some of the core exercises. And we want to do 100 reps of each, 100. Let's try to do that. Let's try to do that. Yeah, let's try to do that every day this week, man. Let's see who's up to it. And as y'all finish them, we would love it if y'all would hashtag us, or add us, and just put hashtag 100 challenge. How about that? Hashtag 100 challenge. You feel me? Because like Type B says in the beginning of each episode, we don't want nothing that's under 100. Nothing 100. All right, so Dave, you're gonna show us. You got a machine behind you. You're gonna show us how to use this pull-up machine here. What I have some bands. Bands. Got bands. I put the bands up here. Let me show y'all how to do some pull-ups using bands. What you got, Dave?
All right, so look, man, we got an assisted chin-up dip combo machine here. And as you can see, you can see, right, Jay? There's a platform here for your convenience. So what this machine does really, so a lot of people struggle with just a normal pull-up with body weight, right? Right. So what this machine does is you load it up. It's got up to about 200 pounds of resistance in this case. And what you do is you kind of offset your body weight and you kind of take away from. I don't say kind of, you actually do. You take away from your body weight with this setup. Okay, so let's say you're 180 pounds and you can't lift your own body weight. So you would start small, right? Obviously, and start decreasing or increasing the weight here to decrease your body weight for the resistance on this exercise. So let's say I want to take off maybe 50 pounds here, right? So I'm 165, so that's 115, right? 115 pounds, that's what I'll be doing as far as my my pull-up is concerned. So I'll just show you guys real quick as I adjust my AirPod. It's coming out real quick. All right, so look, I'm gonna get up on the machine. I'm gonna put my knees here while I'm still maintaining grip on the bars. I don't want to just kind of put all my weight because you don't really know what this is gonna feel like at first. Now I'm gonna pull all my weight on this platform. I'm just gonna ease into it, still maintaining positive grip here. Okay, so I'm gonna allow my body weight to rest on this knee pad, and I'm gonna pull up. All right, that's what I'm doing. So right now I'm doing a pull up assisted with 50 pounds. Okay, so I'm just taking 50 pounds off of my body weight to help with that workout. All right. So if you guys have a machine like this at your gym, you now know how to use it properly and be able to maintain a good workout. All right.
Absolutely. So Dave, I think a lot of people get confused when they look at the weights on there. Like you said, it goes up to 200 pounds. I think people think that when they put 200 pounds on it, that means it's going to be harder. But that actually is going to be it's going to be easier, right? It makes the pull-up easier for you. So the higher the weight, the easier, the more support it's going to give you. The lower the weight, the more you're pulling on your own.
Exactly. So cool. When you look at this, you look at subtraction, and pretty much you won't run into any issues. Yep.
It's a great machine to help you with your back, with your biceps, and it's going to help you start to develop those that strength that you need to pull yourself up.
So when you're utilizing a machine like this, as you can see, I have 3 different options for hand grip. All right. Yeah. So this is obviously wide. This is kind of a wide slope. This is a wide straight, and this is a kind of a closer in. I don't know what you would call it. Maybe like it's perpendicular to to my body here. So it's pretty much a different grip here, like a hammer grip.
A hammer grip.
And it and it actually does work different parts of your back. All right.
Let me ask you this though, Dave. Because it's great that you brought that up, right? When you talk about lats, we're talking about we're talking about our back, right? So this typically these pull-ups in that position here usually are going to be like a more of a back exercise. So would you recommend that closer grip for the biceps?
Well, yeah, closer grip, but
Yeah,
you want to maintain an underhand grip for your biceps
underhand. Yeah, to really pop.
to really work it. And see, this machine doesn't really offer that in a comfortable
It
manner,
does.
right?
Right.
Because
Right.
personally, I like to do chin ups in a closer, like shoulder width. See, I'm all the
Right.
way out here, and
Right.
that's definitely that can pose some wrist issues. And yeah, so it's definitely not a comfortable. So yeah,
So
when I want to
I'm
isolate
so
biceps, I want to be close up.
So that's exactly why I want to show y'all this next variation. All right. So what I'm going to do, you can see above me, I'm going to be at a pull up, like it's kind of like the monkey bars. All right, y'all see that? All right. And so
Yeah.
what you can do is instead of using that machine that Dave is at, because it doesn't offer that grip that you need, that underhand grip. I'm going to show y'all how you can use these bands in order to get your numbers up in order to be able to do a pull-up. So what we're going to do is we're going to get these resistance bands. All right. They should be anywhere in your gym where you can order them on Amazon or something like that. Right. Right now I'm going to start with, you can start, I'm going to use one just to show you how to tie it, but you can tie as many as you need to help support your weight. All right. What we're going to do is take the tip of it. We're going to swing it right around the top, so once you get it tied, right, the mistake people make is they think you put your foot in here, right, and that makes it undoable. What you're really going to do is put your knee like that, all right?
All right.
Put your knee, get up there. You can keep the other foot straight, or you can bring it up like so, right? And that gives you the assistance that you need to get up there.
To pull up. Yep. To pull
Mm-hmm.
back up.
Yep.
Yep.
And allowing you to keep that underhand grip. All right, so you're working on your biceps and not so much your lats. All right, Dave, you're set. Get it in,
right.
boy. All right, so I got one for you, man. Kanye West. Everybody's going crazy over Kanye. I don't know. They're going crazy over Ye, man. Like people are just really like he's getting into it with every celebrity he can. It's not just Pete Davis.
Oh man.
It's like what's his name? The comedian
D.L. Hughley.
D.L. Hughley. Now he's going after Trevor Noah. It's like Jesus, and we really don't talk about stuff like this in our personal conversations, Dave, because I know when I say if I ask you, what's going on with Kanye, you like, I don't know. I don't care. Dave was like, what he eat don't make me shit. And I get that, man. Dave is like, I don't really care, I don't care what's going on with these cats, they're not paying my bills. But there's this meme, right? I'm part of this Facebook group, this fitness Facebook group. And there's like this video of like New Edition performing. And I'm actually gonna show the clip here.
Why do I feel this way? Why does she stay on my mind? Don't be cruel. If it isn't love, if it isn't love, if it isn't love, if it isn't love, why do I feel this way? Why does she stay on my mind? Can you stay the way? You need to change your attitude.
And in this clip, people get mad. All I captioned was, I said, "This is why fitness is important." Yo, do you know? It got so many like comments, right? So many people commented on me posting this thing. It was half and half. Some people were like, "Yup, that's right. Yeah, that's sad." A lot of people saw the humor in it. They were like, "Oh, that's funny." But I would say 50% of the people were mad. They were like, some of them, like 25% of them came at me personally. Like this one lady went to went to my page. It's my personal Facebook. Went to my personal Facebook and looked at pictures of me and my family, and like came after me. Like, she tried to hurt my feelings. She was like, so I said, I'm gonna tell you what she said too, because it was kind of funny. My caption said, "This is why fitness is important." She said, and so is a normal hairline. That's what she said. She came for me personally. So is a normal hairline. I didn't say anything about her or her man or her mama. All I said was, I was just talking about her dear Bobby Brown. And I didn't even say anything bad about him. I just said, this is why fitness is important. I'm talking about people. There was one lady who was so mad. She told me I was being judgmental, and she's quitting the group because this group is supposed to be, encouraging fitness. And what is this? This is a negative post. One lady told me, like, she just made up a whole thing. You don't know what. Yeah, you don't know what. Yep, this body shaming. One lady said, you don't know what he's going through. He could be on antidepressants, or he could be suffering from this. Or so many. She made up hypothetical infirmities for this man to tell me that I shouldn't say that what I said about, bro. It got me thinking, man. Like, why do we defend these celebrities like this? Why do we care so much about what's going on with Kanye West, right? Why are we so surprised? Why do we deify these celebrities? We deify them. We make them gods, man.
You asking me?
Let's talk about it, bro. Let's talk about it, man.
I'm gonna tell you what. You always know I do this, right? And I always bring some correlation back to, like, segregation and the old days and slavery, yada yada. Okay, I'm gonna give you one more. All right, I'm gonna give you one more. So put it like this, So put yourself in these shoes, okay? You're at the Cotton Club, right? Which we all know. Oh, we don't all know, but I'm not really gonna go there. You look up the history, right? You're at the Cotton Club, man. Let's say you're a bus boy, you're a server, okay? And let's say there's a performer, Nat King Cole or whoever, right? Someone in the Jim Crow era that was very popular with everyone, right? As far as our seniors, our entertainers, right? He's in the Cotton Club, right? So this is a whites only club, forbidden the blacks to actually to partake, but it's not forbidden for them to work. Okay, so you got Nat King Cole who's up on stage and he's killing them, right? He's killing them, and all the white folks are just they're basically just mesmerized by his ability. Okay, and what do you see? What do you see when you look back and at the kitchen? You got a whole bunch of black folks in the window, in the service window, watching Nat King Cole just woo the shit out of all of these white folks, right? And they're looking at themselves as they're being kind of degraded and being shooed back to work, whatever have you, by their probably their white overseer or whatever have you, or their manager. So you got all of this going on, but yet they're talking to each other, saying, man, I want what Nat King Cole has. Look how he's got all these people, subdued. Look how he's got all these people under his spell, right? I mean, what they don't know is that these people are just allowing him to entertain them. They don't respect this man. They just respect his ability to entertain. Okay, but do those bus boys, do chefs, do they know? Do they really know what the science behind this relationship is? No. So what they end up doing is they want to emulate that. They want that. In the age of assimilation, right? In the age of trying to assimilate at least, you know what I mean? That's what we wanted. We wanted to be down. Okay. So we look to whatever those guys worship or whatever those guys thought that was fit enough to be involved in their society. So that's where I guess our celebrity worship would come from. Also, I give you another one, and this is closer to home. This is me and you. When we were growing up, we like I said, we were in Plaza, right? Who was doing it? You understand what I'm saying? Who was really doing it, right? Like
I'm not gonna say their names. I'm not gonna say their names, but drug dealers.
We won't, but who was doing it, right? And in a sense, they were our celebrities too, right? So what we're seeing is we're seeing our deficit, and we're seeing them in abundance, and then we want to emulate that. And so that's where I think it all comes from. Just really not having much and wanting to just fit in and be down and So I think it's a fantasy, and it's something that again we're not praising our scholars. We're not looking up to these guys. We're not
Mm.
doing we're looking at those in abundance and the fame and fortune. That's what we're looking for.
You
But
killed it with
again,
that, man. You killed it
all
with
right,
that.
all right.
Wait, let me ask you this though. Okay, so you killed it with that. So of course we have some pretty faithful viewers, some workout buddies that are pretty faithful that aren't black, and they would they see the world from a different perspective, right?
Yes, yes,
So some of our white homeboys or whatever, right? So I'm sure they would say, that may make sense from a black perspective, but from a white perspective, there's still celebrity deification or celebrity worship, right? So that has nothing to
of
do with
course.
Cab Calloway and that King Cole and shit, right?
There
So
you go. There you go. Cap
so yeah,
Calloway. Yep.
right. So yeah, Cab Calloway, right? So of course in the research, there's this thing called halo, that the halo effect, right? Where we automatically think that because someone excels in one area of their life, that means they are excellent in all other areas of their lives, right? So like, let's say someone like Beyonce, right? She's a phenomenal entertainer, right? She could sing, she could dance, she's very attractive, and we associate her success in the entertainment arena as her being successful in life, period, right? So she's someone who we should be able to emulate, or someone who we should want to be like, or someone who can do no wrong, because she is so great at singing and dancing. That means she must be a great human being, right? So when these celebrities, how they say never meet your heroes or something like that,
Uh,
never
uh,
meet your heroes, right? Because they're gonna disappoint you, right? So it's the halo effect.
uh.
It's the halo effect. What do you think about that?
Well,
You buy into that?
yes, yes, and also I had to add something to it. What you're saying as far as like we believe that they're good at everything, right? But I don't really, I wouldn't take it that far. I would say we basically are worshiping those that have what we don't, right? I mean, because that's all you see. That's all that's really praised. You remember that era, the Hype Williams era? You remember that? Like when they had
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
would always show the size of the vehicle, like the name brand. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that was a big deal. So what we did was we glorified these material objects and we glorified that whole image. So we're not looking at them to say, well, this guy's got great character, or this guy's, he doesn't seem like he cheats on his wife or whatever, right? No, we're looking at the material possessions, we're looking at the fame, and we're looking at the fortune, and that's what's being put out there, and then that's what we lack, right? That's what all of us lack to, and that's what we want. So that's where I think it really, really comes from. I think we look at our deficiencies and try to and we look to them to kind of fill that void. You understand what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'll look more in that sense. Um, than they're other than they're good at everything. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
more
I
so
feel
that
you on
they're
that.
filling the void. Yeah.
I totally feel it. So okay, if that's the case, right? Then because I want to talk about that in just a moment, because that is definitely a theory. But when it comes to this halo effect, though, like I kind of I believe it, because I think it lends into the deification of these people. Because when you see somebody like Michael Jordan, when I saw him not miss, when he was when he was on fire, like how in the basketball, the video games, he was on fire. He looks at the camera and goes, like it
Right.
was something otherworldly. It was something godly about it, right? Something divine about it, and him doing that like indicates it, like, oh, I don't know, it's just something's using my hands. I don't know. I'm just here, right? It makes you feel like, oh my God, he's closer to God. He's closer to perfection than the average human man. So when you find out that he says, I ain't no politician. When you find out that he says, I ain't trying to, it basically, he's not trying to feed the black community or better the black community, which supports him by buying his sneakers and buying his posters. I ain't no politician. Or you get somebody who's like Charles Barkley, who says, I'm not a, what do you say? I'm not a role model.
You're
It's
not a
like, it
role
kind of,
model.
yeah. Or Tiger Woods. You get someone like Tiger Woods where people are like, oh my God, Tiger is the next coming. He's the second coming But then you find out that he cheats on his wife, and all of us, nobody would agree that that's okay. They have such a fall from grace because we have put them in this place of like perfection, and these people are like, yo, I never claimed to be perfect. I never said I was perfect. I just do this one thing as perfectly as I possibly can, and we're like, well, you must be perfect at everything else.
It's funny when you talk about Mike and not missing and that feeling of, like him being a deity. I remember when, when the Orlando Magic played the Bulls that one year, I think when he came back out of retirement. And the Magic was the only team that actually beat the Bulls in a playoff series, right? That's the only team ever. Yeah. But I remember when Nick Anderson kind of stripped Michael Jordan from the rear. You know what I mean? Like he kind of like, Michael Jordan was trying to pull
that used to be your move.
And I remember the feeling that I had seeing Mike get stripped. And it was weird, bro. Like, this can't happen. This is Mike. So, like, I definitely feel what you're saying as far as how we look at these folks, especially when you're younger, right? Like, we idolize these folks. You can't help it. You got the baseball cards, you got the basketball cards, you got all these things. You can't help but to idolize your sports idols, your sports heroes. You can't help it, right? But I remember that feeling I had, like, this ain't supposed to happen. Like, this is not real. This is not. It's kind of like when T'Challa got beat down in Panther, right? Like,
this is your king.
Supposed to happen. This wasn't supposed to happen. Right. So but I mean, we were young, right? And there's an excuse for that. But a grown ass man idolizing another man, you know what I'm saying?
What are you doing, right?
Like, you got the answer to your problems, man. Cut it out. Like, seriously, cut it out, guys. Like that.
Right.
All right, look, you know what? Let me get my setting because I feel like I'm going up on it.
It's actually a theory. This goes back to what you're saying about they have something that we don't. A grown man idolizing another grown man. There's a theory called TMT, territory management theory. This one is deep. Ooh. This one had me reading.
Right.
Okay, so we'll start here. Humanity is we're always wrestling with our own mortality. We're afraid of death, right? Even though we don't want to, some of us don't want to admit it. So we do things. We have death anxiety, and it drives certain behaviors, and it causes us to adopt certain world views, so to speak, right? Oh, so, for instance, like a religion would come under TMT, right? Or a political view will come under TMT.
Or collective consciousness, right? Yeah,
it's a collective consciousness. You're tapping into something that you feel is greater than yourself. And it gets deeper. So while we're categorizing, celebrities fall into a world view. Like when you say, it's not just branding, but when you say Michael Jordan, you have a certain feeling and world view and understanding. When you say Mike Tyson, you have a world view. When you say Michael Jordan, you have, Michael Jackson, you have a world view, right? So celebrities fall into that too. Now, even deeper, this fear, this death anxiety, it makes us need to be remembered. We need to immortalize ourselves. We have a desire to live on past our death. Legacy.
Yeah.
Legacy. Yes, and we realize pretty early on in our lives, or I don't know, maybe that's what a midlife crisis is about. I don't know, but most of us realize that we have lived a pretty ordinary life and we haven't done much to leave a legacy. Right? So we start doing things to try to leave a legacy, or we try to live through other people's legacy. So So when we say, oh my God, Michael Jackson is the greatest of all time, the way he moonwalked, or when people are like, when they remember history, that's one thing I don't have such a great memory, right? So some people, they, in my studies, African-American studies, there are certain scholars who just throw out facts and they feel like it almost deifies them as a scholar because they can remember dates or they can remember names of jazz musicians and they can listen to a song. You didn't write the song. You don't know how to play the saxophone, but they feel like they're a part of the legacy because they can remember that celebrity's name and associate. You see where I'm going with this shit? Like
kind of like the stats and all that other stuff, knowing all the names of football, like all that other stuff. I used to feel funny like that too myself.
Yeah.
Like I was like, how do you guys remember all of this? How do you know this? How do you how many players are on a football team? Think
Right.
about what, 45?
Right.
These guys know every player. They know their stats. They know what they run the 4-4. Like, I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just the 440 is what I want to say. But you know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of weird to me. That
Right.
level of
Of care.
of
You care so
I don't
much.
know, man.
It's
And
because
you
they're.
know, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go
No,
ahead.
you go ahead.
No, I was just saying, man. I'm not trying to sound like a hater. I'm definitely a congratulator, but
Right.
maybe I'm not a participator. Maybe that's what I'm not. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe I'm
Yeah.
not that. Like, and it's not hate. It's just more so like, bro, like, there's more things. Like, I couldn't tell you. Like, I'm a diehard Knicks fan. Everybody knows that, right? But
Right.
I couldn't tell you who's the starting five right now.
Dealing with the TMT, right? And everything that we just said. It's us dealing with our own mortality. It's us trying to find a legacy, realizing that we may not leave much of a legacy, so we try to live through through celebrity legacy. With that, there's something that I've experienced. Tell me if you felt this way. Even with this podcast, well, let's start in this podcast, right? There is, I've been an MC, I did a little acting. I've always put myself in positions where I would be, I was out there. I just put myself out there, in a creative way. And it's really, it causes a lot of anxiety. You know how Erykah Badu said, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. Oh, I'm at 100, everyone. Y'all at 100?
I'm past 100. I don't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead and count them up. Count them up, folks.
Yeah.
Rewind.
Yeah.
Count them up.
Yeah.
All right.
So
go ahead.
we're gonna be moving on. But Erykah Badu said, I'm an artist, I'm sensitive about my shit. It's really you're putting yourself out there, right? You're being transparent when you present your art. But you get this feeling from people that are like, Jay, you talking about Lil Jay from Brooklyn? Who got a podcast? Or you like, who you got a CD? Or you make music now? You know what I mean? Like, you're an actor, you got headshots. I remember you when you remember that time when you got beat up at the bus stop? You know what I mean? It's like
you got your hat stolen.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like we want to chase this legacy. We want to chase leaving this legacy, but at the same time, it's almost embarrassing to do it because people are like, oh, you trying to be famous.
Wow.
Oh, you think that you special. No.
The next one up.
Yeah. Here we go. Okay, another person. But it's completely normal. Like everybody on Instagram is a fitness guru now, right? Everybody is a singer, or it's like when everybody want to be basketball players. Everybody, it's normal to want to leave a legacy. It's normal. It's quite normal. Right. So I would just say, like, don't listen to that part of yourself that's telling you, no, just deify the celebrity. No, you can never be this, or you could never be that. Or Dave, I remember you, not to put you too much on the spot, but I remember you said this. You would fighting yourself, and we could edit this if you want, but real conversation you had with me. You said, it was a part of you that would say, who do you think you are? You know how long that has stayed with me, Dave? You said it was a part of you that said, who do you think you are? And you had to tell yourself, I know who I am. So that I lend that into that territory management thing. Like, there's a part of us that is telling us, no, you're not special. You're ordinary. You're not going to leave a legacy. You know what I'm saying? That celebrity, they are special. That's why you should just glorify them. You understand what I mean? And then you have people around you in your circle telling you the same shit. No, you could never be, does that make sense what I'm saying?
No, indeed it does. Voted in by the masses, right? Like, you're looking at a conglomerate. You're looking at a conglomerate that's basically putting this person in power and basically dictating what we should respect and what we should honor and what values really are. Like, what let me take that back. You know what I'm saying? Kind of, it's a void of values, honestly. But they're putting out there what we should admire, what we should respect, and they're dictating those. I guess they're making those calls. Is what I'm trying to say. They're making those calls for us. So, like, it's a shame. It's a shame to see it. It's a shame that we give these guys a lot of traction and we listen to them. Like, you know what's funny, man? The funniest thing to me, man, was that Dave Chappelle special when they were talking about when the towers fell, right? He was talking about celebrity worship, man. Go check that out if you can. But he was like, like, here, let's tune in to Ja Rule and see what Ja Rule has to say. And he said, man, I'm trying to dance, bro. I'm scared to death, bro. He's like, where's Ja Rule?
Right.
Like, where is
Right.
he? Like, what does he have to say? You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
just like that's where we take it too far. It's one thing to really respect and honor, our black celebrities honestly, it's okay because they've come a long way. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, we have black celebrities in the game that will work more than any other white actor, right? Shout out to Will Smith, shout out to Denzel. These dudes their value was more than any other actor in the game, regardless of color. So I give props to them, but to know what he does on a regular basis, to know what he does on Twitter, to know what he eats for breakfast, to know like those things are just a little bit too extreme. You understand? I get it. Like we want to know these things because we want to aspire for greatness. I understand trying to follow a blueprint. I understand that because that's what Kobe did with MJ, right?
Right.
Kobe, like if you go back and watch the footage, Kobe idolized MJ to get to that point. But if we're not doing that, if our every day is just to catch up, you know what I'm saying? Then something's wrong. There's something's wrong. So we have to wake up as far as that concerned. And also like that doesn't dictate value. That doesn't dictate what we should respect. And again, who runs that society? Who runs the television? Who runs the idiot box? Who runs the programming? That's a better word. The programming. Who runs that?
Right.
It's
the
not
programming.
for us.
Right.
It's not for us. So we need to wake up.
Right.
Honestly.
One last thing.
Yeah.
Before we get to the push-ups, because you touched on this. The other thing about it is there's more than one way to leave a legacy. We're being fed as Black people. We're being fed that the way for us to leave a legacy. Well, no. We're as a whole, we're being led to believe that our primary imprint on the earth and our impact on the earth is going to be in the entertainment industry. Right? I saw a post the other day. It had like four. It had Tyler Perry. It was talking about the 4 Black billionaires who did it without education. So Jay-Z, Tyler Perry, maybe Beyonce, I can't remember, and Rihanna or something like that. And I was just the first thing I thought to myself is all of them are entertainers. There are more that you don't have to be a Black entertainer in order to be a billionaire. Like, please understand that you can leave. You don't have to be a billionaire in order to leave a legacy either. You don't have to. Go ahead.
No, my bad. Keep going. You on something like keep going.
Real shit. Like that's not. Dave says this all the time, man. Like I'm preaching to the choir director here, but Dave says it all the time. Like we're not just entertainers, man. That's not what God put us here to do. Like you can leave a legacy through your kids. You could be a garbage man. You know what I mean? And you gave birth to the next billionaire or the next person that is going to save the planet. You know what I mean? Legacy is far-reaching, man. It's far-reaching, and that's what they want us to believe.
And whatever you do is an avenue to greatness, right? Like if you play football for a living or you're in finance, right? And you might not necessarily enjoy it. That's not where your real passion lies. You use it as a vessel for your passion.
Dave, let's get to the push-up.
All right, push-ups, guys. Push-ups. All right, so there's different varieties to push-ups. Okay. What I like to do, for the advanced level, I like to keep my feet shoulder width apart. Okay. All right. So you just kind of look down and verify. All right. And what I like to use a set of bars or dumbbells to kind of get a better range of motion. I really don't like putting my hands on the ground for wrist issues. This seems to be a more natural, for my anatomy. It's just more natural for my anatomy. Okay. So what I like to do is I like to start in the plank position. My back is straight down. My butt's not way up in the air like this. Okay. You're not getting anything doing that. All right. You want to remain flat so you can engage your core as well. Push-ups is one of those compound workouts too, quite as kept. All right.
Yeah.
Because you're working to keep everything straight. You're working to keep proper form throughout the whole workout. And what you want to do also is I kind of have mine in a 45-degree motion so that I can not necessarily use a lot of my triceps. I want to isolate my chest when I do push-ups. So I kind of have mine. Yeah, just through experience. I put my bars out like this, and I just come down, right? And what I like to do is I like to make contact, all right? And also keep my head and face straight, sort of like in a 45-degree or 30-degree position, looking kind of down at the ground, opposed to keeping my neck up and straightening my head, okay? So I like to make contact. That's what I like to do. You don't have to, or as long as you kind of break that, well, not break the plane, but get to 90, you're good to go. As far as your elbow and your arm concerned, right? If you get to 90, you're good. Okay, your workout suffices, right? But if you want to go more advanced, you want to make contact with the ground and come back up. Don't rest on the ground. Just kind of a nice
Just
little
touch a
a
little
little
like,
touch,
yeah,
and don't use the touch as momentum on your way up. Okay,
yeah.
just touch, come back up.
Yeah.
Okay.
One other
Now,
thing, there. One other thing, right? I'll come over here. One other thing that I see people do, and I have to caution them is people always say, "I hate push-ups." I'm not sure if you ever hear people say that. I hate push-ups. I hate push-ups. And then when I watch them do a push-up, they're doing push-ups like, can y'all see me? You see where my head is and where my hands are? Can you see that?
yeah,
They're doing push-ups like this, right?
yeah.
That's a
And where's your
difficult
butt?
push-up.
Where's your butt?
Up in the air.
Why? Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
they're doing push-ups like this. That's a hard
Exactly.
push-up, man. That shit is hard.
That's more
So
of a
what you want to
shoulder.
do is, it's shoulders. It's shoulders. So what you want to do is break, like if you're starting up, if you naturally start up like this, you want to walk yourself up a little bit so that your chest and your palms are kind of equal, right? And come straight down. That's an easier push-up than doing this. Right? That shit right there.
And what you're doing is a little advanced because I'd encourage you to have your push-up more aligned with your chest, right? Kind of like you're throwing a punch right here. Right. So what you were doing, your hands is positioned, more inward. And that's a little harder to do, right? So like I would encourage folks to kind of stay in that straight line and have that straight path right there. Boom. Not here, because that's a little harder.
Okay, that is a little harder. One other thing before we get started. If you can't do a push-up or you aren't able to do push-ups yet, right? We're not going to call these girl push-ups anymore. All right, that's misogynistic, and my daughters are probably stronger than a lot of dudes that you know. All right, so we're not going to call these girl push-ups. We're going to call these beginner push-ups. These are beginner push-ups. All right. By the way, my 6-year-old, the youngest, she can do about 15 push-ups unassisted on the perfect push-up, by the way. So we're not calling those girl push-ups. Yeah, real push-up too, right? So here, same thing. All you're gonna do is just lift your feet, be on your knees, but you want to be even, like Dave said, with your chest. And you want to hold your head up and come down as far as you can, man. As far as you can. And if you could do 10 of those, once you can do 10 of those straight, you should be able to do one push-up. One intermediate push-up. Right? You're still gonna get a good workout. Just keep those feet up. Keep them up. Nothing wrong with this push-up.
I think that's probably the first time I've ever tried.
And there's nothing wrong with this push-up. There's nothing wrong with that.
Wow.
If you do beginner push-ups, that's a good workout, right? There's nothing wrong with that push-up. Hell yeah. Don't let anybody make you feel like your beginner push-up is something to scoff at. All right?
Wow.
Do them. All right? Wow. We still expect 100 from you.
Yeah, so you know what? In respects to the renaming, I'm gonna do them in solidarity to the beginners out there, right? We're supposed to be in shape here, but you know what? There is really no shame, and I'm trying to show you there's really no shame. It's actually a good workout.
It is a good workout.
In this sense, right here.
So you're set, Dave. Yeah, you're set. We still going to 100, y'all. Hashtag 100. What I say? What 100 challenge? 100
nothing less.
Challenge,
Yeah, nothing less than 100.
Nothing less.
Nothing
yeah, how about that? Hashtag nothing less than 100. Hashtag 100 challenge. So another thing about the celebrity deification, right? There's a thing with safety. What they call it? Safety and predictability. Where we want to understand we want to feel safe in our environment, like in our normal day to day. So when something takes us outside of that, it makes us fear. We have fear. So with safety and predictability as it relates to celebrities, we like to categorize the celebrity. Like, oh, we know what you're about, right? Like when Michael Jordan stepped, we keep talking about Jordan, right? But when he stepped outside of basketball and went to baseball, it was like a mind fuck. It was like the fucking Matrix imploded on itself. Like, what is happening, right? Or like when, what are you doing, right? Or when somebody who is in, I don't know, if you have a mother who's in finance and she decides that she wants to, or you have a mother who stays at home. She was a stay-at-home mom, and then all of a sudden she decides that she wants to go into business. People look at her like, what the fuck are you doing? You don't know what you're doing, because it makes them uncomfortable because you're doing something that isn't consistent with what they know. So when we have a celebrity who acts outside of a way that we know them to act, it puts us on edge, and it makes us feel like they betrayed us. Like, oh, Colin Kaepernick, you're supposed to just play football. You know,
Yeah,
shut up and throw the ball. You know, LeBron, just shut up and dribble, man. You know, this is what I need you to do. My world doesn't make any fucking sense. You know how much gas is right now? I have to. It's costing. You know, I didn't anticipate my life being this hard when I was young, and here I am, and I'm trying to manage. My wife fucking cheated on you. All this stuff, man, that life throws at us, and it's inconsistent. So when we look to our celebrities and our entertainment, we expect it to be consistent. And when it gets out of line, it pisses people off, yo. It pisses people off.
Going against the grain, bro. Like,
we
ain't paying you for that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you big because you could keep it quiet. You big because you wasn't a loudmouth. You know what I mean? We made you that way, so shut the fuck up. You know, that's. But I mean, that's the game, right? I mean, props to those. You know, I won't say props, but like, I mean, they've definitely, crafted a sophisticated system to keep us in check. And the more you peel back that onion, it's just diabolical, you know. And I'm glad to have, in this stage of life to kind of be, privy to it, and not necessarily be, to fall victim and to kind of guide the children in the right manner as well, man.
Yeah, man.
Don't really, again, I could be wrong, but my children don't necessarily idolize celebrities themselves. I mean, I think it's because we give them the idea that's attainable to them, you know?
Yes.
And I think that's the first step. You know what I mean? All right.
Yep.
So, yeah, go ahead, man, because I know you got something.
No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. That's exactly right.
Right.
That's exactly
you got it, yeah, again, these always, I have this expression, man, when I bleed, man, we bleed the same blood. When they bleed the same blood. You know what I'm saying? They breathe the same air. You know that song by Biggie. You already know the lyrics, all right? So yeah, that's basically my outlook, and that's how, that's what I put forth to my children, and that's how I live my daily life. Well, props to those guys, though. I am definitely proud of our celebrities, though. But another thing, that I wanted to touch on, man, a couple of episodes back, man, we talked a little bit about Shaq. You remember that?
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about Shaq. So maybe tell me if I'm offline with this, right? And, talking to my wife about this, and she believes that I'm offline, so I'm going to bring it to your attention here. Isn't it kind of, oxymoronic to really say that, we should stop celebrity worship? We should cut that shit out, but yet you still capitalize on it? Isn't that like a weird concept? Yeah. Like, I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm talking to the wife and I'm asking her. I said, like, I think that's like sort of strange. I know what he's trying to do, but it's more so like I get it. Like, if you're still gonna do it, I'm gonna still make my cheese. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta make the statement. You gotta tell him. You gotta tell us what he said. Tell us what he said.
Well, he basically. I don't really remember the exact quote. That's why I don't really want to go there.
It's all good. It's all good. Just
from the gist of it, he's basically saying that we're pretty much silly for worshiping celebrities. That shouldn't be part of our daily. That's not they're not there for that very reason, and it's more and it becomes more intrusive to them because of our celebrity worship. I think that's kind of like the gift and the curse. That's kind of like when you take the good with the bad when it comes to that, right? You got these rich, successful individuals and they're in the limelight and they're telling us how to breathe and act and whatever. They're telling us what to buy and put on our forks. But then when we want to intrude, like we normally do, we can't do that. Like we're not allowed to. But you're telling us what cereal to eat. You're telling us what vitamins to take. You're telling us, right? So like, when do you draw the line and just say, all right, no, you can't know this though. You know what I mean? Come on now.
Right. You're absolutely right. And you're a public figure, right?
Right.
You get endorsements and shit for being a public figure. So that means your life is on display, Yeah. So you signed up for this shit. Yeah, you signed up for it. Like Eminem, I'm not sure if you saw the movie Funny People. It's a Adam Sandler movie. And Eminem is in there and he was like, why would you want to go back to celebrity? He was like, I think you should. Like Adam Sandler was thinking about getting back into comedy in his older age. He's like, what the fuck would you do that? Like, he's like, I think you should just kill yourself. That's what Eminem's character says. He's like, what? He was like, being a celebrity sucks. Like, you name it, I can't go there. I can't go to Walmart. I can't go to fucking Target. He's like, I can't go to Best Buy. You know what I mean? He's like, I can't go anywhere. You know, I think about this all the time with like Beyonce and Jay-Z. It's like you see them on this beautiful ass yacht with their kids, and she looks luxurious and he looks wealthy, and the sun is shining, and nobody else is there. The only other person that's there is like a fucking TMZ scuba diver that just popped up out of the water to take the picture, right? They can't go on vacation, right? They can't go on vacation with regular people. You know what I'm saying? They're wealthy amongst wealthy people. You know what I mean? Like that is, I would hate that shit. I would hate it. So I would hate to not be able to go to Walmart. I love Walmart.
That's what we differ. You know what? Honestly, give me that life because I live it now. I hate Walmart. I want to be out on that yacht by myself on this island where nobody else is fucking with me. I want that life. I want that isolation. And you know what they say? Like, well, I can't. They don't want to. And you know, I can't. They can do whatever the fuck they want. It's just, you know, it's consequences to their actions. But you know, as far as I can't, like, I don't know if they want to. Like, I don't want to go to Target. I don't want to go to Walmart no more. I don't want to have to, like, you know, be in that, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? In that social standing, in that social status, right? So
I love the socialization of life. Like, I can't stand being like, you know, just hemmed up, you know. But I say all that to say, like, they sign up for this shit. So when you see celebrities like grabbing the report, you know, the paparazzi's camera and slamming it, or like punching a fan in the face or some shit like this because the fan got overbearing. I mean, I get it. Like, give these people their space. They're humans too. But you signed up to be a celebrity in a culture that worships celebrities. You signed up to be worshipped. You did. You signed up for that shit. You know, so you kind of love it. Like, if nobody was paying attention to you, right? If nobody was paying attention, he said, Kanye said that. He was like, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it. He said they all gonna say something. I'd be worried if they didn't say nothing or some shit like that. He said, you know, like, I'm mad that they're talking, but I'll be mad if they wasn't talking. You know, so I guess them talking is keeping me paid. So I guess keep talking, right? Just like you said.
Exactly. You're capitalizing on what you can't stand. You're capitalizing on, you know. So I, you know, it's a double-edged sword. I understand what he's getting at, and I don't know, like, low key, if he's talking to us, right? Just like I'm talking to y'all, or I'm talking to us. You understand what I'm saying? Because, you know, but again, who else is capable of doing that but him? And that's why I don't really like. I'm not coming down on it, but I just think it's kind of strange, right? And but I think they're more inclined to listen to Shaq before me. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny because I just seen him on this supplement. His newest thing was this supplement commercial. Kind of like what Frank Thomas is doing. You know, it's kind of like a eugenic style pill. So it was funny to see, you know, to hear that, and then to see him kind of endorsing a new product. You know, and it was just like, all right, get it. You know, Shaq's household, man. Shaq's probably, you know, the one of the funniest basketball players ever. You know what I mean? Like, he's got that personality. So it's just weird to see how, you know, it is a double-edged sword. It's weird to see that really in action. You know, especially just kind of like, you know, right on the tail end of him, you know, saying that. So
because what he said was he renounces his celebrity. That's what he said. He renounces. I renounce my celebrity, right? I mean, you, and what your point is, you're already a fucking celebrity. You've been a celebrity since you're like 17 or 16, right? So like, you know, yeah, even in high school you were a celebrity. So like,
if you renounce your celebrity,
right?
Go ahead.
Say it again.
No, I said if you renounce your celebrity, then stop selling products.
And that's what your point is, right? Stop selling products. Because you're using your celebrity to sell products, right? And him, I mean, let's be real. Even if he wasn't still selling products as much as he is, him renouncing his celebrity is like when the Princess Amunda was like, "From there, you want me? Would you prefer I just give up?"
I renounce my throne. I renounce my throne.
And then what did she do in the end?
Right,
on the A train or whatever train it was, right? And then so what happens in the end? We're talking about Coming to America, so y'all that aren't caught up. In the end, they sitting in the buggy with everybody going, okay, say, can you see? And they singing them, and they just got married and said, he was like, we can still give it up. If you want to, we can still give it all up. She was what you
Yeah.
say, Dave? She was like,
She's like,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, let's move, man. Let's move to the leg lift. I'm gonna go grab
All right.
some. I'm gonna grab a what you call the ball.
Yeah. Oh, what you got there? You got a ball?
Uh-huh.
Let me get a ball. I want a ball.
All right. What we got next, Dave? Oh, we got some leg.
Yo, so how you doing? You just like this?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, pretty much. Let me see. Yup, just like that. But you bending your leg when you come up. I wouldn't bend my leg. You there. Yep. So we got some good old-fashioned leg lifts. All right. This is the military. Is this the flutter kicks and leg lifts? A military exercise, right?
Yeah, flutter kicks. But you know, honestly, flutter kicks went away a little bit because they said that it linked to a little like lower back pain.
What about your lower back?
Don't know how.
Do these
lower back
lifts?
is fine.
Mm-hmm.
No. But I do refrain from flutter kicks myself, just because honestly, I do more. I don't. It's unnecessary, right? So if there's a stigma out there, I'll stay away from it for a little bit.
Yeah,
you know.
I'll feel you on that. All right. So with these leg lifts, Dave is using a weighted ball. It's like a medicine ball, not a medicine ball, but a weighted ball. He has it back behind his head. All right. And he's just gonna crunch up a little bit. We don't want to use it with the term crunch though, because we're gonna avoid. Yeah, his leg stays straight and stiff, toes are pointed out. All right, and he brings the ball right up to his knees. All right, when he goes back down, he brings it right back over his head. All right.
And guess what I'm doing? I'm keeping the ball and my legs off the ground
from touching the ground. Yep. For the advance. Yep. Boom. All right. So we have three variations. We have one. The ball is just, you're holding the ball up. You're not lifting your upper body. You're just lifting your lower body up and then back down on a rest on the ground. That's beginner. Oh, boom. We need 100 of those though. Even though you're beginner, we still need a hashtag 100 challenge. All right. Intermediate. We're gonna come behind us. Everything is resting on the ground. We come up and then we go back resting on the ground. Up, back down, resting on the ground. All right. And then for our advanced folks, intermediate, we still need 100. Advanced folks, nothing is on the ground. Up.
Keep it up. Keep it up. That's where the money's made.
Yeah,
right
so there's one other little theory I read, Dave, about celebrity deification and worship. It's called confirmation bias. Confirmation bias, where we have beliefs, and human beings have beliefs, or we believe things that are going to support what we believe. It's like a dumb circle. It's like a circle of dumbness. All right, a circle of ignorance. Yeah, it's justification. It's like you believe the things that support what you already believe. Now, where did you get that original belief? Right, that's the problem. Where did you get the original belief? So it's like if you believe, I don't know if you're a Christian, right? You're going to believe what the Bible says if you're a Christian, right? And a lot of people think that's their job as a Christian, to justify what happens in the Bible. By the way, that's not your job as a Christian to justify the Bible. But some people believe that. Or you may believe that R. Kelly is a great person because because of the halo effect, and you associate him making Step in the Name of Love and I Believe I Could Fly. You graduated to I Believe I Could Fly. So you think that he is a positive person, and now you push up. You only believe things that are going to support that. So you don't believe these victims that are speaking out against him, or the Weinstein victims, or Cosby victims. I don't know. You could, whatever it is, right? You believe only what is going to support what you believe. That definitely plays into celebrity worship. It definitely does. That's why they attacked me on social media, because these people believe that Bobby Brown suffered. Some of these people are talking about, don't talk about Bobby Brown's weight and how he's out of shape and how he needs fitness, because he's had a hard life. He had a hard life. He had a hard life. He lost his wife. He lost his daughter. I think somebody said he might have had a stroke or something like that. I'm like, yo, no disrespect to your family, Mr. Bobby Brown. No disrespect to the legacy of the illustrious Whitney Houston. All right. But people die every day, D. Like, I'm gonna die. Dave's gonna die. Yeah. My wife's gonna die. God forbid it happens before I die, but my kids are gonna die. That does not give you the right to be unfit. Like it was like you being a celebrity doesn't give you the right to do certain things, and your wife and your kid dying. Don't go. Yes, say it.
No,
Say it.
anything is more of an incentive, dude. You know what I mean? And if we get a sole survivor, be the last guy, man. You know what I'm saying? Make it happen. But you know what, man? Look, you asked the question, right? Where does it come from? And like, how does it start? And because, most of us, and you know what I mean by us, right?
Yep.
We are raised in front of that idiot box, dude. We're raised in front of that programming. We're raised, you know what I mean? Like, we're sat in front of that TV. Like, a lot of us were latchkey kids. We probably have two parents. We had two parents in our household. They both worked, okay? Especially living in New York City, right? They have to both work, man. The cost of living is preposterous. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, most of us are latchkey kids, and we don't raise in front of that idiot box. You know what I mean? Like Saturday cartoons, that type thing. Straight up Cosby Show, Different World. What was it, Martin? All those things. So, like, you can't say nothing. When Martin was going through all of that, we didn't believe that either, right? Because we remember Martin being that silly character on television, right?
Yeah, we know him. He's been in our home. Yeah.
Yeah, right. He raised us. He taught us how to he taught us how to be funny. He's going back to that, man. We got to stop putting our children in front of that idiot box. And you know what? Now it's not necessarily even the TV, man. What is it now, Jay? It's TikTok. Instagram. It's TikTok. It's all of these different things that are creating emotional issues with our children.
I feel those. Ooh, it's a long way to 100. Yeah, those are dope. I check myself, right? I check myself because, like, for instance, I read the Will Smith book, right? I don't necessarily deify Will Smith. I think that I identify with how he presents himself. I'm trying to be careful about how I word it because I don't want to be no jock rider, right? Like I've never been like the dude who's just like, I gotta have like somebody's autograph. No disrespect to anybody who wants somebody's autograph, but I've met Shaq before. I've met celebrities. Yeah, at Trey Whitfield banquet. I met Shaq.
Oh, he was there?
Yeah. He went one time. I think I was 12 or 13 or some shit like that. And I saw him. Obviously, you can spot him anywhere. But when celebrities enter a room, I'm not sure if anybody's ever experienced this, but you can tell a celebrity entered the room before you see them because people gasp. Like the energy, the air gets sucked out of the room by people going, it's like everybody does it collectively. And you can almost feel like a stillness come into the room. Like there's this thing. And I heard this one comedian talking about it when Jay-Z and Beyonce entered the club one night. You could just tell there's just this mass kind of like calm hysteria.
Like shit, like they supposed to be here.
Like it's an alien.
I'm part of history right now. Like I'm part of history.
I'm part of history. Like a god just entered the area, and the seas part. So when I remember that feeling at 13 or whatever age I was a kid, and then I looked over, I could see like this man towering over the door. Like basically he stepped into the room, but his head is taller than the door. I was like, oh shit. So I wanted to, I loved Shaq. I wanted to say what's up to him, but I couldn't be no dick rider. Even at 12 and a half, 13 years old, I felt like I couldn't just go.
Still love Shaq, though.
I love Shaq. I couldn't go up to Shaq, man, and be like, so I just kind of played it low key. And then we just so happened, I promise I ain't go over there. We just so happened to both be waiting like at the table for the guy to give us a plate. And I just looked over at him and he looked down at me and I just looked away. And then I looked one more time and he extended his hand down to me. Cause kind of like, I know you want to shake my hand, little guy. But I just couldn't do it. I couldn't be like, but then he extended his hand. I shook it. I was like, this thing jumped inside of me. I was like, I just shook Shaq's hand. You know what I mean? But even then, I couldn't just like worship the guy. Like I felt the want to, but I just couldn't do it. I was too like proud.
He made it easy. He made it easy.
It was super cool. It was super cool.
I think he read you. You know what I'm
saying?
He
did read me.
Honestly, like, look, you're at a benefit for underprivileged youth, okay?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And there's no way you don't know who he is, right? Like, let's come on, man. So I think he saw that you were playing coy and you were trying to give him his space. And he was like, you know what, let me bridge this gap. Let me bridge this gap. And you know what, man? Shout out to that. That's an amazing.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. Yo, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I hit my 100. I think you hit your 100. Look how
I
Betty
mean, I better have.
put your
I
100s
better
up.
have. Yep. I better
Yeah,
have.
man.
I want to hear
What's
about
our what's our PE today, man?
it. Man, look, it's a tough one. Because honestly, I was thinking about it. But I don't.
I got one. I got
You
one.
got one.
We'll keep it simple because this challenge is for the week. It's not just for today. It's a great day to challenge yourself. And when you challenge yourself, you got to check in with yourself, right? So our PE today is going to be personal evaluation, all right? Every day I want you to check in with yourself. Did I do my hashtag 100 challenge? Did I do my 100 pull-ups? Did I do my 100 push-ups? Did I do my 100 leg lifts? All right? You are the one that's going to evaluate you. And you are the only thing that's standing in your way of being one of these celebrities that people tend to deify. Just to be real, you have what it takes. It's nothing super special about any celebrity. They are bleeding the same kind of blood or same red blood that you're bleeding. All right. So in order to be the best person that you want to be, or the type of person that leaves a legacy, or the type of person that people revere, you gotta personally evaluate yourself. Are you accomplishing the goals you set forth? That's all I got, Dave.
And well said, brother. Well said, man. Beautiful Sunday morning, man.
Beautiful Sunday
Hope you
morning,
guys
bro.
enjoy the rest of.
Hell
Hope
yeah.
you guys enjoy the rest.
Y'all been in PE. Y'all been in PE with Dave and Jay. I feel like we built while we built.
We built.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing to sign down.